With every iteration of Devil May Cry, there has always been a clear evolution of the formula. The first entry prided itself on establishing the hack-and-slash genre. The second increased Dante's mobility. The third introduced elaborate styles into the equation. The fourth introduced styles on the fly along with Nero's Devilbringer initiating grapple attacks. Finally, the fifth entry in the DMC franchise raised the bar on multiple forms of Devil Trigger as well as adding partial co-op. It does make me wonder, it makes me a little bit curious about the next evolution for the Devil May Cry formula. Where can Itsuno go next outside of completely reinventing the wheel? It's quite obvious that Devil May Cry fans wouldn't want this particular gameplay to radically change for the worse, so you have a task to fulfill as a director. If it ain't broke, then how do you refresh the experience for veterans and newcomers alike? I think one of the main experimentations is to actually create a situation where co-op is a key integration to Devil May Cry 6. I can always sense the comments that might express disinterest in playing with a random partner online, but hear me out. No one likes the idea of babysitting an NPC, whether you're playing online with co-op or you're playing offline and you're playing with the AI. I completely understand disliking a shoehorned cooperative experience. I am right there with you guys. I really don't care about Boombox Guy on the mic either, who is probably annoying you to death by blasting modernized hip hop into your earlobes. He probably looks like he just escaped from Alcatraz on a banana boat. Besides the point, you can clearly tell that the Devil May Cry series has been experimenting with co-op for the longest time now. The early findings of this actually go way back to the core ideas being implemented in Devil May Cry 3, since Virgil can actually be controlled during the Battle of Arkham if player 2 presses the start button on that battle. You can also use Super Sparta and Doppelganger to have player 2 control the clone throughout the entire time. It was one of those neat little things that I barely think people notice due to the fact that there's no instructions to my knowledge that tells you how to do this in game. Then we reach Devil May Cry 5, where there is seamless co-op, but it's not fully realized with this entry just yet. I said in my review that Devil May Cry 5 co-op was something that was a great idea, executed on paper, but it wasn't really implemented well within the game given the limited co-op levels. You can decide if you want to play with other players across the world or turn the networking system off and just enjoy the experience by yourself. I do agree that this should be a mandatory option going forward for network play, where muting mics and playing solo should always be on the table. It's always good having options. That being said, I'm not fully against the evolution of Devil May Cry for co-op. This series always was leading to this direction, especially story-wise, because spoilers for DMC5 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Virgil is now in hell with Dante, and I think we always wanted to see the two brothers finally come together in a full-fledged Devil May Cry game. Devil May Cry 5 has finally opened the doors to this opportunity of Virgil and Dante working together, and there's no avoiding the inevitable for the future. If you're going to take another page out of Resident Evil 6's book, then I would say that you should make co-op Virgil unkillable, as well as giving us the option to choose between who we want to play with, finally giving DMC that realm of choice with multiple characters at the start, with story integration being present as well. Come on, man, I just finally want my option of multiple campaigns here. Stop running rings around me, leaving me in a doozy. The fans are also clamoring for the idea of co-op Bloody Palace as well. I suppose when in doubt, you should just join them. If you can't beat them, join them. This should give you some consideration to keep in mind for the future. Arena battles in Bloody Palace are always welcome. Now, suppose this is the future of Devil May Cry, right? Hypothetically, let's just say that you're a fan who is asking for PvP, player versus player deathmatches. Honestly, I would not know how that would be pulled off in a DMC game. There is a lot to take into consideration with different different characters. Due to the nature of DMC's meta being so deep, I would say it would be an interesting experiment that separates the men from the boys. Clearly, there's another side of me that is also saying that it would be a complete catastrophe. DMC PvP will probably be the most complained about mode for eons, with people constantly begging nerfs and patches out of the wazoo. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea to keep most ideas on the cutting room floor, with the exception of co-op shenanigans. In the end, I think that 3-player co-op could be the future for Devil May Cry 6. I'm hoping that the criticisms of 5 made in Suno see that this idea could be done, while additions need to be clearly added. An invite system for your thoughts, anyone? The modders have already made a co-op mode for Devil May Cry 5 that adds in all 3 characters throughout differing levels. For all we know, I could be having delusions of grandeur if Capcom ever follows suit about this, but I don't mind. It's always fun to speculate and fight the forces of darkness together, right? This is Renegade Operative signing off. What did you guys think about the video? I know it was a short one, but comment below, let me know. Do you think the next evolution in the Devil May Cry series is some form of co-op? Do you want co-op in Devil May Cry? Do you not want co-op in Devil May Cry? Do you want it where the co-op is completely optional, but it doesn't ruin your single player experience? Sound off in the comments and let me know, and tell me, what do you think about the possibilities of Devil May Cry having 3-player co-op in the future? Do you think this is the next evolution or not? What do you want improved for the Devil May Cry franchise? Sound off. Once again, if you like the video, please share, subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Follow me on social media if you like my shenanigans, and I will see you guys next time. Later.